In this lesson, we will talk about combining when and or together in one where syntax. So, if we combine between and or, the operator and is applied first, while the operator or is applied second. In this example, we can see that if we want the product name, units in stock, unit price from product table, but we want at the same time the product name that start with M, and the units in stock will be less than 20, or units in stock will be higher than 30. So let's see at the combinations. In the OR statement, we see that we have at least one of the columns that are correct. Units in stock lower than 20. Here in the first row, it's not true. But the units price higher than 30, and we see that it's 97. So the unit price is correct. After that, if we look at and, we see that also this condition is true. We have product name that starts with M. Also in the second row, we have the product name start with M, so it's true, and one of those at least will happen in the OR statement. The units in stock lower than 20, it's true. So we have this row. And the unit price higher than 30, so it's also true. So if we have at least one or both of them are true, it's okay. Let's see it in the SQL server. So here we have units in stock lower than 20 or units in stock higher than 30. But let's see what happens if we lose parentheses. So let's run this time. So if we run it without the parentheses, what we get is first condition. The SQL will look for the first condition, units in stock lower than 20. If it sees any units in stock lower than 20, it gives us this row. Or if the unit price higher than 30 and product name like M starts with M. Let's run only the second one. What the SQL does, if we run it, we get 4 rows. That all of the rows are starting with M in the product name, and the unit price are higher than 30. We can see that we have 2 rows that their units in stock are lower than 20. This is why these 2 rows will combine with the second condition. So if we run only the second condition, and let's look at these 2 tables. Let's go to the Mascrophone Fabioli, and we see that we get this row also in the second one because the units in stock are lower than 20. And if we look at the Mozzarella di Giovanni, we get 14. We get also this row in these 26 rows because 14 is lower than 20. But we don't get the other 2 rows because the units in stock are not lower than 20. So if we run everything together, we get 28 rows because now we have the 2 rows of the unit stock higher than 30 and the product name like starts with M. This one, units in stock higher than 30, and the product name starts with M. And the Mishi Kobe Nico. that the units in stock are higher than 30 and the product name start with M, but the units in stock are not correct. So we have at least this one. This is why we need parentheses. If we put parentheses, what the SQL is doing is, first of all, are doing what is inside the parentheses, this or this. After that, is doing with and the product name starts with M. Let's run this, and we see that we get only 5 rows. One of these conditions at least is okay. The units in stock lower than 20, or the units price higher than 30. If one of them at least is okay, so we get the row. And the product name must start with M, and we see that all rows are starting with M, and one of the columns at least are okay. So this is why we need a parenthesis between the conditions when we have AND.